Welcome,
Namaskaram,
Sadhguru.
Ralph.
Thank
And
you
you're
so
also
much.
smart. What can I do? I'm a dumb guy, huh?
Thank you so much for joining Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. We love your messages. We're going to dive straight into it. Your new book, Karma. So much is happening around the world with everything with a global pandemic. And when I was reading your book, we often think that karma is about punishment and rewards. And we come to see that karma is about action and taking responsibility for your actions. We find ourselves in a global pandemic right now. And in what way do you feel we're responsible for everything that's happening? And how can we take responsibility and be a part of the solution in the midst of a global pandemic?
Well, if I say this, I'm going to be extremely unpopular with a whole lot of people. But I want you to understand that global pandemic right now, as severe as it seems, and it's taken over 500,000 lives, in spite of that, it is a small distraction from a larger trouble that's unfolding in the form of loss of biodiversity, climate change, ecological undoing of the planet in various ways. That is a much, much bigger problem, and we are happily walking towards a disaster, not walking, pushing the world towards it. So, in the meantime, the pandemic, unfortunately, it's cost over 500,000 lives and endless amount of suffering for a whole lot of people. But in spite of that, we must understand it's a bit of a break. At the speed at which we're going towards the brink, this is kind of put a little bit of break. I've been saying this for a long time. Either we fix these mega problems on the planet consciously, or nature will do it to us cruelly. So right now, nature is doing it to us and pretty cruel, but not as cruel as human beings have been to each other in terms of wars, in terms of genocides, in terms of slavery, in terms of other kinds of exploitations that we have done to each other in the name of race, religion, nationality, philosophies and ideologies, what we have done to each other, what the virus is not doing is not too bad. And that way, if I say this, everybody will pounce on me right now, but let me say, I'm not insensitive to the suffering that's happened. Everybody, irrespective of who you are, in some way, everybody has taken a hit, including us, okay, including myself. We've taken a hit, we've lost so many people who are dear to us. Well, many of our activities, everything's upside down. This is true with everybody on various levels. So I'm not being not sensitive to that, but we need to understand the larger perspective, what we as human beings are doing on this planet. When we say human beings, this means we are the most intelligent species on the planet. The most intelligent species on the planet is doing the dumbest things that you can do in this universe. You're the only smart guy. Ralph smart, you are. But we are doing the dumbest things. Like in India, there is a fable where a man is cutting a branch, sitting on the wrong side of the branch, you know. When he succeeds, with full fury he is cutting, when he succeeds he will fall. Right now we are in this mode. Our ideas of development, our ideas of economic well-being, our ideas of dominance, our ideas of success, our ideas of doing well are all super destructive. The very way we exist is super destructive. Well, in the last 50 years, nearly 80% of the insect biomass is gone. 60% of the vertebrate population is gone. What are we waiting for? What is it that we are waiting for? At least this pandemic has put some brakes on us. This is a time to stop, introspect, look at what we are doing and see what best we can do next. Because everybody is saying, when will we get back to the old normal? The old was not normal, you were abnormal. Destroying all life around you is not normal. So when the post-pandemic situation comes, we must be aware enough, we must be conscious enough, we must be compassionate enough to create a new normal, not the old normal that we have been living. That is not normal. It is normal for a human being to be compassionate. It's normal for a human being to be inclusive. It's normal for a human being to be loving. It's normal for a human being to be joyful. Unfortunately, we've made it the reverse. If you're joyful, they think you're a freak.
Yes.
You must be miserable, you must be stressed, you must be anxious, then you're normal. So this has to change. This pandemic period is a good time for ourselves to reconsider what kind of life do we want to live for ourselves, what kind of life we want for everybody around us, what kind of life we want to offer for the unborn, for those who are yet to come, because this planet doesn't belong to us, we are just here for a brief amount of time. So this is a good time to consider that.
It's a wake-up call from the universe. And I
Oh,
feel…
no, universe is not involved. Don't involve the universe, that's too big a thing. Right here, the mess we have done, so it is getting back at us, that's all. It's our karma, that's what I'm saying. It's our doing, this is our doing. So if we do something negative, something harmful, we are also capable of doing something positive. Positive is a bad word right now with the pandemic, I know. You're negative, right?
I'm both. Yes.
So, to do something positive, to do something that is good and nurturing for all life, as we have caused destruction, we are also capable of nurture, we are also capable of compassion, we are also capable of positive action. So this is a time to do that. Do you want to call this a wake-up call? I think the wake-up call planet has been screaming for the last 1 century.
Yes.
It is… if you still did not wake up, I don't know how you will wake up now.
Yes. And a lot of people are existing, but they're not living. Many people are just going about their day-to-day life. But when they say, what can I do? I'm just one person. What activity do you feel is the most beneficial activity any human being can do?
Well, if you reduce your activity, that's great.
Yes.
Because right now, in the beginning of 20th century, we were 1.6 billion people. Today we are inching towards 8 billion. They're saying by 2050 we will be 10.2 or 10.3 billion. Well, if you reduce your activity, it'll be good.
Yes. And we can talk about the subconscious mind because a lot of people are now starting to realize the subconscious mind is controlling over 95% of our lives. This is the part of ourselves we're unaware of. Is it possible to reprogram the subconscious mind, and what role does yoga play?
Well, see, yoga does not look at mind as conscious, subconscious like this. We look at it like this: buddhi, ahankara, manas and chitta. What this means is the intellect, which is the front end. The sharper it is, the better it is. Your parents thought you were really sharp, so they called you smart. They didn't call me that, I don't know why. So, the front end must be sharp, it's very important. But this sharpness, will it work for well-being or to destruction, simply depends on what kind of identity you have. Right now, people have done the most horrible things because of limited identities that they've carried. Somebody in the name of belonging to a certain nation, how many cruel things they have done? How many wars have we fought? How many millions have we killed? Somebody who's identified with a religion, oh my God, what all they have done, and you see right now Afghanistan is unfolding. But the people who are doing whatever they're doing, because of their identity, they think they're doing the right thing. With great conviction, with a divine stamp on their actions, which look horrific for somebody else, but for them, they are doing the right thing. This is because of the kind of identities you take. The moment you take limited identity, your intelligence is a peril for the world and for yourself probably. It is a peril, real peril. Right now that's all you see. What is it that human beings are suffering? They're suffering the sharpness of their own intelligence. If you take off half their brains, all of them will be peaceful, believe me. Yes,
We
right
think
now
we know too much.
no, you don't know nothing. No, 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 we know nothing. It's just that you have a sharp mind and you're cutting yourself all the time. You call this stress, you call this anxiety, you call this misery, you call this madness, you call this depression, call it what you want. Essentially, you have turned the sharpness of your intelligence against yourself. Today I was talking to a group because today is supposed to be the day for preventing suicide on the planet. Over 700,000 people committed suicide last year or so, 19, I think, 2019. So, every 20 seconds, somebody in the world is taking his own life. So, suicide is the ultimate manifestation of your mind turning against yourself. Initially you call it stress, then you call it anxiety, then you call it depression, then you call it madness, then you call it suicide. But essentially, your own intelligence turned against you. So, how you hold this knife of intelligence, with what kind of hand, with what kind of grip you hold is very important. This is something, unfortunately, modern societies have simply failed to address. This is why you are seeing this as more education and more knowledge, more science, more technology comes, people are becoming more and more destructive and more damage and more problems are happening simply because the identity. My identity versus your identity. Believe me, today we may be fine, but if it comes to a point, we will fight, we will kill each other. Because maybe we will kill each other because we belong to different nations, maybe we will kill each other because we belong to different religions or different race or different identity, philosophy, ideology, something. So the moment you make a limited identification, now you are in conflict with something. It is very important human beings should be brought to this, that first thing is they must experience themselves as a wonderful throbbing piece of life. After that, you are a human, after that you are a man or a woman, after that, many things. If you do not bring them to this, which we have failed to do unfortunately in this world, you will see as human beings become more and more empowered, they will become more and more dangerous to every other life on the planet. This is what you are seeing. When 80% of the insect biomass is gone, knowing fully well that without them we can't farm, we can't grow anything, everything could die because of that, we have done this. 50% or 60% of the vertebrate population, that means those creatures which carry bones like us and spine like us, we've killed them in the last 50 years. This means our intellect, the way it is, our intelligence, the way it is in the wrong hands. So this is ahankara or this is the identity. The third dimension of the intelligence is called manas. It's a large silo of memory. In this memory, we identify various levels of memory. We call this evolutionary memory, genetic memory, sensory memory, and conscious memory, unconscious memory, and the surface of articulate and inarticulate memories. Like this, there are various dimensions of memory. So only with memory, your intellect can function. If we remove or unplug your memory, your intellect cannot do anything, it needs memory to function. So, there is a vast amount of memory and there is intellect. Between these two things is the identity. If you make your identity a global or a cosmic identity, then your intelligence will function from everybody's well-being. If you make your identity into small identity, either myself, my family, my community, my nation, my race, my religion, if you make these identities, then your competence, your capability will work against every other creature on this planet, that's what is happening. So the fourth dimension of intelligence, which is most important, it is called as chitta. This is a dimension of intelligence which is unsullied by memory. There is no memory in this, it's pure intelligence. If you touch this intelligence, then your experience of life becomes limitless or cosmic. Why this is so is, as memory is a great possibility in our lives, in our day-to-day function, because everything that you are right now, the shape of your body, the color of your skin, who you are and what you are, everything is by memory, isn't it? Genetic memory, evolutionary memory, everything. So, memory is a great thing on one level in terms of survival and day-to-day function, but it's also a prison. It creates a circle. So right now, I'm a different person and you're a different person. How? I have one kind of memory, you have another kind of memory, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're in my memory, I will say, oh, this is my friend. If you're not in my memory, I will say, this is a stranger. If you are in the bad part of my memory, I will say, this is my enemy. Yes or no?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
memory is a tremendous possibility, at the same time, it is a prison. So, the fourth dimension of intelligence is pure intelligence without memory. If you enter or touch this dimension of intelligence, then your experience of life becomes boundless. Even for a moment, if your experience of life became beyond the limitations of your body, the limitations of your thought and emotion and imagination, beyond that if you experience life, after that nobody has to tell you what is good, what is bad. Anything that you have experienced as a part of yourself, with that you have no conflict. This is yoga. The word yoga means union. Union means the individual and the universal became one. It is always one. It is just that you have a fancy idea that you are an individual. Right now, as much an individual as you are breathing, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'm
Just
breathing
breathe.
in the good ass prana.
Yes. Now that is your idea, but you're breathing. Your breathing means you are in communication with the rest of the creation, otherwise you cannot exist. If you stop this, you cannot exist. So in every way, every cell in the body, every atom in the body, every subatomic particle in the body is in communication, is always together. Only in your head you think you're an individual. So word yoga means you consciously obliterated the boundaries of your individuality. Now you're in yoga. Yoga does not mean wearing Lululemon pants and twisting and turning. Hey, you know the brand, see, look at you.
Yes.
You shouldn't be wearing them, come on.
Yes, yes. So when we talk of letting go, because a lot of people always ask, how can I let go and trust the universe? Do you feel it's about letting go of all of these concepts we've given ourselves, our race, our religion, our nationality? Is this the greatest way to let go and trust the universe?
Let go what? What is sticking to you, I want to know.
Well, a lot of people might say they want to let go of the stress, they want to let go of the confusion, they want to let go of the chaos around them.
Okay.
They want to let go
Yeah,
of fear.
we will leave the chaos around us. That is a different aspect, we'll handle that separately. Want to let go the stress, want to let go the confusion. No, no, you don't have to let these things go, you just don't have to cause it.
Yes.
Your confusion is caused by you, your stress is caused by you, because all human experience is coming from within. What is coming from within must happen the way you want it. If it's not happening the way you want it, it's simply because fundamentally you have not seen that this is my karma. You have not seen that right now I have crazy thoughts going in my head, you don't see this is my doing. You think somebody is doing it to you. Now nobody is doing this to you, it is you. Somebody will throw a ball, how you hit it is yours, isn't it? See, what the world does to you, you have no choice about it. But what you make out of it is entirely yours. This is karma. Because in the outside situation you said there is chaos, I don't know which part of London you are.
I'm in the chaotic part.
So, the world around you will never be 100% the way you want it. Even if there are just two people at your home, still it's not the way you want it 100%, never will be. Outside will be 100% the way you want it. But what is within, this must be 100% the way I want. If this is 100% the way you want, how would you be? Miserable or joyful?
Joyful.
Blissful or stressful?
Blissful.
Then how… when you're not stressful, how do you let it go?
You have to choose.
When you don't have… how do you let go something that you don't have? You create it, you create it and then you want to let it go. What for? You don't have to create it. Because what you call as stress is inefficient way of managing your mind. What you call
A
as
lot
stress…
of,
I'm sorry.
definitely, a lot of people right now, humanity is looking for answers. Many people are losing hope and they're wanting the world to change. If we truly all stepped into our true power, who do you think we would be? And what would the world look like if everybody stepped into their true power? Who would we be? And what would the world look like?
Uh, we would be human beings. Right now, we are acting like aliens on this planet. We would be human. To be human means, the significance of being human is, every other creature has its territories and boundaries. There is a reptilian brain in our… within our brain, which fixes boundaries. Maybe in London, I don't know if you've seen this or not, if you come to Asia or anywhere else, you will see there are street dogs peeing all over the place all the time. They're doing this not because they have some urinary issue, they're doing this because they're building a kingdom. Pea kingdom, of course, but it's a kingdom, they're setting the boundaries as to this boundary belongs to me. So unfortunately, most human beings are still in the same condition. They're constantly busy fixing boundaries. Though the idea of being human in terms of physiological development is the cerebral cortex, which allows us to think beyond our boundaries, which is always making us feel wherever there's a boundary, we want to break it and be bigger than that. See, if I lock you up in a 5x5 cubicle, you will feel horribly imprisoned. After 3 days, I will release you and you will feel terribly liberated, all right? Hugely liberated. But within 2 days, again 10x10 cubicle will feel terrible once again. If I release you into a 100x100 cubicle, then you will feel wonderfully free for 2 days, but then again you will feel horribly imprisoned. So it doesn't matter where I set the boundary, the moment you can feel the boundary, you want to break it. So this is the essence of being human. There is something within you which is longing to be boundless. But right now, people are approaching boundlessness, people are approaching infinite nature in installments. They want to buy it in the shop or they want to conquer the world piece by piece. No, it will never… you are not going to approach the infinite in installments. If you want the infinite, you have to obliterate the boundaries of your own individual nature. That is how you will know the infinite. This is what the word yoga means.
Many times in this new world is instant gratification. People want a quick fix. They want to do something in 24 hours. Many masters like yourself, yogis, have spent an entire lifetime working on themselves. So how long do you think it's going to take the average human being
1
to
moment.
really…
1 moment is all it takes.
1 moment, okay.
Yes, because from outward focus to inward focus, it's just a simple turnaround, there's no journey to make. There's no distance. What is the distance between you and yourself, I'm asking? Time arises only when there's a distance, isn't it?
Yes.
When there is no distance, there is no time. So, how long will it take? There's no such thing. If you make yourself absolutely willing, it's just 1 moment. But if your willingness comes in installments, all the best, who knows how long? It all depends on you. How willing are you? If your willingness is total, is just one moment.
So one moment to change the world, that's so empowering. I feel
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
people
no,
need.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about changing the world. I'm talking about an individual human being.
Yes, yes,
See, you said how to transform the humanity. You cannot transform the humanity because there are no such thing as humanity. They're just human beings, there is you and me. If you
yes.
are willing, I said it'll take 1 minute. You try to make your friend willing, let me see, you will see how long it'll take.
That's very true. That's very true. That's so true. And what keeps you in good spirits with everything that's happening? Because you have to deal with a lot of
Hey,
people every single
I'm
day,
not
but
keeping myself in good spirit, I'm a good spirit.
you're a good spirit.
I'm not soaked in spirit, I'm the spirit.
Yes, yes. Because this whole concept of raising the frequency, raising the vibration,
Ooh,
is
what is
this
that? Are they running a radio station or something?
well, a lot of people always want an elevated state of consciousness. They want to feel more alive. And would you say that sometimes just letting go of all of that is how you feel more alive in itself?
Letting
When
go
you stop
what?
trying so hard?
Letting go what? Only thing that is going away is life. As you sit here, life is just ticking away. Nothing else to let go. What is ticking? Nothing's
Yes.
ticking here. You imagine all those things and you… See, it's like this. You imagine a burden on your head and you carry it with great difficulty, and then you imagine you put it down. All the best. By tomorrow morning, something bigger will be sitting on your head because you are living in the land of imagination, on memory. This is the problem. See, memory is of yesterday. It's something that's already gone by. Imagination is about something that's yet to happen. So your imagination is rooted in your memory. Whichever way your memory is, an exaggerated version is the imagination. Both these things have no relevance to life because both of them are not alive. You're talking about me being in good spirit. No, no, I am not in good spirit. This is the spirit. This is the way every life is made. But they have put a head on top of it, which is like a rock, and it puts the spirit down. Spirit can't get out. There is a rock sitting here. I don't have a rock on my head. Just to make it substantial, I'm wearing a turban.
Many times people are looking for someone to guide them, leaders, politicians. Do we have to lead ourselves, or is someone coming to help us?
Most of us are in democratic nations. Why politicians are not ourselves? They are ourselves too. Hello?
Yes.
Don't refer to them like they landed upon us from somewhere. They were ordinary people like you and me. Something
Yes.
that you think is a dirty job, you're not willing to lend your life to make it happen, so they lend their life, and today we are putting them under microscope and think they are the evil people. No, they were just like you and me, but they took this troublesome job of leading a nation, which is a big headache in today's world, but they've taken it up, so all we have to do is support them and demand the right kind of action because this is a democratic process. Rather than thinking they are some kind of evil species which has invaded this world.
Sadhguru, I want to thank you for your precious time and you diving deep with us into infinite waters. You are truly appreciated. I love your message and thank you for everything you do for humanity.
Next time I'll come with an oxygen tank, Ralph, so
Thank
that
you.
I can go much deeper and see what the hell is there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
namaskaram.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.